So when we left off, the heroine got a bump on the shoulder that sent her careening into Toma's world. Toma probably has the most infamous part of the anime attached to his name, and we get a whole 2.5 episodes of Toma. And honestly, because he gets 2.5 episodes, Toma's arc doesn't suck as much as the others do in terms of it being an adaptation. It's just a shame that it's based on my least favourite route in the game. The premise of this arc is that Toma clicks on pretty quickly that the heroine has some kind of memory loss, but doesn't really understand to what extent. He uses this to his advantage to try and shield her from some of the harassment that she's been receiving anonymously. You know, things like nasty emails and putting trash in a mailbox and stuff. Pretty nasty, but nothing that should physically hurt her. But no one calls the police. Toma, trying to be the hero, tries his best to protect her from this stuff, like cleaning out the mailbox before she can see it, and going as far as to request that she take some time off work on her behalf, though that seems to be because of her health more than any harassment. They have a moment where they attempt to establish the relationship between Toma and the heroine, with her asking, "Were we lovers?" I mean, it would be a good assumption, because she has all the memories from the other worlds, and she's had a boyfriend in every one of those, so it's a reasonable question, and Toma says, yeah. No one believes you, Toma. Ukyo is the one that really perpetuates this one forward, though. He's appeared in every other story just to basically say hello to the heroine. In this one, he's completely lost it and acts all kind of threatening towards the heroine, warning her that she will die. Toma just so happens to be there both times Ukyo is acting weird, which sends him into crazy, overprotective quote-unquote boyfriend mode. He kindly offers the heroine a place to stay for the night so that she's not alone and that she's safe. She agrees, and then she stays there for most of the arc. Strangely enough, this arc has some of my favourite CG to anime parts in the adaptation, with this piece of artwork with the weird perspective getting put in there with every fault it has. The heroine's ear looks huge, her eyes look weird, and they don't even attempt to fix it. It's kind of a sweet moment though. I'll let it go, I'll take what I can get. Toma decides to take the heroine shopping so that she can get some things for her now extended stay at his apartment. It's a nice day, they have a good time until some girls approach her and cut her hair in the middle of a shopping mall. I feel like you could probably justify that as physical harassment at that point, and not one character even thinks about calling the police. They don't even mention it when her property is clearly being damaged. We also learn at this point that it was Ikki's fangirls that are making the heroine's life a misery. But why? Why are they doing that? Do we have an actual mystery going on here? Kind of, but it starts to take a backseat as Toma loses his shit. So he carts her back to his apartment and obviously vows that he needs to protect her, so what does he do? Being the ever-doting and wonderful quote-unquote boyfriend, he makes her coffee every morning. How lovely. Apart from the fact that he's actually drugging her coffee with sleeping pills, so she does nothing but sleep, wake up, eat and drink, and goes straight back to sleep. So this happens for a while, then Orion appears and tells the heroine not to drink or eat anything because he's been drugging her, and she reacts as anyone would. Oh no, wait. No, she doesn't. She has no reaction. Then, for some reason, Shin appears. I think it's just so he can have an argument with Toma and say that he and the heroine are not a couple before leaving. So we now know, for a fact, that Toma is not her boyfriend. And she doesn't really react to that, either. After Shin leaves, Toma kisses the heroine, but does it with a mouthful of drugs, giving her one more dose of the sleeping pills before, well, she wakes up in a cage. She's in a cage so that she can't run away and get herself hurt, but surely like a stern conversation would have been a good first choice. Nope, apparently not. She lives in a cage now. And this is all very strange. She's allowed out of the cage on a rare occasion or two, but she's just locked in a cage. But at least he gives her a panda. Things only get more weird from here on out. He lets her out of the cage to stretch her legs. She then proceeds to sit on the floor, because that was exactly what you should have done at that moment. They have a moment before Toma goes back to the land of batshit insane and puts her back in the cage before getting a call from college because of some kind of problem with his work, and he runs out of the door to fix it. Apparently in his haste, I guess he forgot to lock the cage, because Orion is like, we should go, and they just leave. They don't even make a big point of showing the cage without a padlock on it, or whatever it was that was keeping it shut. And I think you'd be excused if you didn't notice Toma not locking the cage. I mean, they cut a shit ton of other corners in this show, why would they make sure to show us that a cage door has been locked? They don't even say anything like, now is our chance. They just say, we should go to your apartment, lol, and then just peace out. So she runs back to her apartment, managing to fuck herself up in the process by scraping her knee and arm. She must have taken her sweet time though, as Toma gets back to his place, realises that she's gone and sprints over to her apartment when it seems like she's been there for all of about 3 minutes. So she went back to her apartment to try and get the diary that was mentioned earlier in the arc, I just didn't make a point to bring it up. She manages to open the lock with the lock-picking skills that she probably retained from another world or whatever, I don't even care. Toma then bursts in, clearly really upset, threatening to break her. What he means is rape? Because for some reason, when someone runs away from you, the thing that will stop them doing that is raping them. Good job, Toma! Great fucking logic right there. He stops being a fucking idiot when he sees the diary though, and she tells him to read it. So what was happening the entire time was before she had amnesia, the heroine loved Toma, but Toma always treated her like a little sister. So she went to Icky for help because Icky clearly has skills in maintaining a happy and prosperous relationship. This was when the fangirl saw Icky and the heroine together, assumed they were dating, and started harassing her. Why does no one in this show stop for a second to apply logic to their fucking ridiculous thought processes? So the heroine was going to confess to Toma on August 1st when her amnesia started, but didn't because she clearly couldn't remember it. And it's actually a happy ending. We did it! She didn't die and she's even going to hospital to get her scraped knee looked at. Seems a bit excessive though. I did that all the time as a kid and the most I'd get is a bandage and some disinfectant. Never went to hospital for it. Anyway, everything is going great at this point. Toma is happy, the fangirls apologise, and my favourite part, Icky scolds them! The part where Icky basically tells them off for being stupid, best part of the show. Fuck that fan club. So everything seems like it's going to be okay, and even though I dislike how Toma went about things, I'm glad that the heroine is safe and stands a chance at living life normally and... oh, for fuck's sake. The best way to go into the Ukyo arc is obviously by having Ukyo throw her off the roof of the hospital. Please don't forget that she remembers everything from the previous worlds. So she's going to remember this really distinctive looking person throwing her off the roof and she's going to stay away from him, right? Ha! Ha! What a joke! No! As an aside, I'm really curious as to why they put this bad end here, because this wasn't from Toma's route. This was actually one of the bad ends to Kent's route. I guess they just wanted to make Ukyo seem like the most awful human being alive before we spent 2 episodes with him before the show wraps up. Obviously.